Good evening, everyone. This would be a very quick session for the uh, upcoming interview that everyone is keen to attend. And this session would be mostly about the important topics or the must cover topics because most of the questions that I am getting from the uh, people are that what are the topics we need to cover because only few days are left. And if I am assuming that your interview is on 7th or 8th, then probably you have another 6 7 days left. And I don't think that will be enough time to cover all of the topics that you can cover. Anyway, having said that, if you have not taken an optional, I suggest you to refrain from covering that. I would stick to my earlier proposition that if you haven't read a subject, do not revise. That would not be of any help. So, best thing would be to stick to the topics that you have already covered. You revise, re-revise, and that would be the best way to go about. Still, then, if you need a perspective that these are the topics that you should cover for a quick recap or uh, quick uh, grasp over the entire subject because you can't cover all of it. So I'll tell you, and you may note it. Starting with CPC, we'll start with CPC. We'll first tell you the subjects, and then after that, if any questions are there, we may take them up. Okay, the CPC you cover section 9, section 10, section 11. You note it down. You note it down. You make sure you note it down. Section 9, section 10, section 11. Then general proceedings of suits, power of executing court, arrest and attachment. Uh, if you're missing out on any topic, then please tell me. I'll repeat it. Arrest and attachment, brief facts about appeals. You also cover inherent power. You cover Order 1, Rule 10, Order 2, Rule 2, Order 6, Rule 17, Order 8, Rule 6, injunction, that is Order 39, summary suits. Uh, these are the topics in a nutshell. If you want to cover, you may touch. I'm hoping that all the questions would be coming from this. If not, then anyway, you cover all of them. Make sure you cover these topics at least if you do not have enough time. Then coming to the next subject, that would be CRPC. For CRPC, you cover uh, CRPC, you cover power of courts. You cover 125, that is maintenance. You cover FIR. You cover the uh, police report, that is the charge sheet. You cover 161, 164. Their corroborative, their value, what value do they have? Uh, then you also cover the trial, kinds of trial, that is the warrant trial, sessions trial, summons trial, and summary trial. In a nutshell, you know it because if there can be questions from that. You cover the appeal provisions, the revision provision, you cover the bail provision, and then you cover the inherent power. So, hoping that you were able to catch up. If not, then let me tell you again: power of court, maintenance, FIR, police report, 161, 164, trials, that is the kind of trials, then appeal, revision, bail, inherent power. These are the topics you must cover. And then beyond
Sir,
that,
can you sir, can you please repeat of CPC?
CPC, I repeat, let me repeat once again. Section 9, Section 10, Section 11, then general proceedings of suits. That is how the suit, if you haven't gone through that or you do not know how a suit is instituted and how it culminates into a decree,
Yeah.
then I have a video in my channel. You may watch that.
So from
The
order 7 onwards, I
Order
know.
7 onwards, so you did. I'm talking about that whether you know how a suit is instituted and how it ends. So the steps of the suit. There can be a question that what are the steps of the suit? So how a suit is instituted and when does it end? If you do not know, that will be a troublesome thing for you. So if you are not aware of this, make sure you watch that video, or I'll also send a PDF to that effect, that is CPC decoded. That will also help you in some way.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. And again, coming to the yes, CPC important topics. Yes, general proceedings of suits, then power of executing court, then arrest and attachment. Then you read the appeal provision. Then you read the inherent power, that is 151. Then order 1, rule 10, order 2, rule 2, order 6, rule 17, order 7 also you must see a little, order 8, rule 6, you must see, and that is order 39, you must see. 1 second. So sorry. Again, coming to the CPC provisions, yes. Order 8, Rule 6, injunction, that is Order 39, summary suits. These are the things that you must cover. CRPC, I told you. I hope you were able to note them. Then IPC, that would be the uh, must cover provisions would be 34, 149. Conspiracy, general exceptions, that is mistake of fact, mistake of law, insanity, accident, Lolin capex, all of that. Private defense, if you can cover that also. Then 299 versus 300, that is a good question. Then 319, 320, 339, 340, 359, 370, 370, 378, 383, 403, 405, 425, 497, 498A. Then all the attempt, that also. So these are the things that you need to cover. If I have to repeat, then I'll let me repeat it once again. 34, 149, conspiracy, general exception, 299 versus 300, 319, 320, 339, 340, 359, 378, 383, 403, 405, 425, 497, 498A, and then the attempt provision. These are the provisions of IPC you must cover. Then coming to Indian Evidence Act. Evidence Act would be the definitions, because all of that proved, not proved, disproved, document, all of that you must know in a nutshell. Then cover res geste, no plea of alibi, admission, confession, primary and secondary evidence, public document, burden of proof, estoppel, and you must also cover the section 27, then cross examination, corroboration, hostile witnesses, 165. These are the things you must cover. Then beyond that, you may read all, but I am just concerned about the important topics today. So these are the important topics. If anybody missed out, let me repeat the Evidence Act provision, that is definitions, then plea of alibi, res geste, admission and confession, primary and secondary evidence, section 27, public document, burden of proof, estoppel, cross examination, corroboration, 165, hostile witness. These are the things that you must cover. Then coming to what else did we leave out? What else did we leave out? Yes, limitation. Um, Probably we also have done certain uh, questions in, I mean, things in question for answer format. So I would share them with you as well. So let me tell you that as well. TP, TP if you want to cover. So definitions of transfer of property, what is transfer inter vivus, uh, then can future property be transferred, definitions of actionable claim, attested, definitions of immutable property, what property cannot be transferred, space succession is, easement, then section 10 and its exceptions. Can property be transferred to unborn person? So, right of unborn person, rule against perpetuity, vested interest, contingent interest, conditional transfer, doctrine of Cyprus, doctrine of acceleration, doctrine of election, doctrine of lispendence, doctrine of fitting the ground by estoppel, ostensible owner, Benami with reference to Benami Transaction Act. You must know because after Benami Transaction Act has come into force, ostensible owner concept has become a little redundant. So we must know that. Then the property which require compulsory attestation in order to be transferred. Mortgage, definition of all mortgages for that matter, and redemption, clog and redemption, foreclosure. Then what do you understand by once a mortgage, always a mortgage? Subrogation, kinds of subrogation, lease, difference between lease and license, how a lease can be determined, tenancy at sufferance, tenancy at will, tenancy by holding over, then gift, whether gift can be definition of the concept of donatio mortis causa, onerous gift. These are the topics you must cover. If you missed that out, then let me tell you once again. That is definition of transfer of property, transfer inter vivus, then future property, whether it can be transferred, actionable claim, attested definition, immutable property definition, what property cannot be transferred, space succession is, then uh, then you study easement, section 10 and its exception, unborn person, rule against perpetuity, vested interest, contingent interest, conditional transfer, doctrine of Cyprus, doctrine of acceleration, doctrine of election, doctrine of lispendence, feeding the grant by estoppel, ostensible owner, Benami Transaction Act, then compulsory attestation, which properties require that. Then I hope I'm audible to you because some people are saying that they can't hear me. I hope I'm audible to you.
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Okay, great. So then, mortgage, the kinds of mortgage, redemption, clog and redemption, foreclosure, then once a mortgage, always a mortgage concept, subrogation, lease and license difference, uh, tenancy at sufferance, tenancy at will, tenancy by holding over, gift, revocation of gift, donatio mortis causa, and onerous gift. These are the TP. What else we are left with? We are left with, I
Sir,
can tell you about
limitation.
limitation. Yes, limitation. Limitation, let's discuss them. That would be period of no, limitation and prescribed period of limitation. The difference between that. So, period of limitation and prescribed period of limitation. The difference between that you must know. Then whether delay can be condoned. So, condonation of delay. Section 5 of the Limitation Act does not apply to which cases. So, the exception of that you must read as well. Then sufficient cause, what would be a sufficient cause? And then legal disability on computation of a period of limitation. And then in what cases there is no period of limitation? Section 12, Section 13, Section 15, Section 16, Section 18, Section 20, Section 21, Section 25, Section 27. Okay. Then uh, Again, this schedule is very tricky because there can be questions from that as well. But then you must pick and choose, and you if you have there is a map I had done. I hope I don't know whether I will be able to fit it into the one page. If I would be, then I would supply that to you so that it will be easy for you to remember. If not, at least try to remember some of them. At least try that. The generally you try 3 years. What are the period of limitations? Do It should be 3 years. You try to define it into a category and try to remember them. So you try that. If I have to like specifically point out the important parts, then suits relating to contracts, suits relating to immovable property, that is contract is 3 years, suits relating to immovable property 30 years or 12 years, depending upon the case. Then you read Article 64 and 65. Then for appeal, that is 114 to 117. Then 136, that is execution of decree, which is 12 years again. And then there can be a question that what is the lowest period of limitation? Can you anyone answer me? What is the lowest period of limitation given under Limitation Act?
10 days, sir.
In which article?
I couldn't remember.
118.
118.
1 month. Right. So there can be questions like that. So it can be tricky. So you must know them. Okay. IPC, though I had given you like very limited topics, I would substantiate with some more topics. So IPC, if you have noted those topics down, let me tell you some more topics you must cover. So intention, motive, that is one topic you must know. Um, uh, can attempt itself be an offense? Can preparation itself be an offense? So that can be a question. Difference between mens rea, actus reus, you must know. Types of punishment under IPC, you must know. Remission and commutation, that you must know. Then distinguish between question of fact and question of law, that you must know. Is IPC applicable to whole of India? The answer would be yes. Now the
Sir,
answer would be yes.
sir, can we jot it down or will you give us the synopsis?
You must jot it down. I think that would be the best way to know that. Okay, because I have written it roughly, so I haven't prepared it as such. So you jot it down. Otherwise, I'll later probably supply a, detailed synopsis that matter so that it will be easier again. Okay. For now, you jot it down. Common
Sir,
intention,
you
common
said can attempt be an offense, and then you said can preparation be an offense?
yes, yes. Can
Okay.
attempt be can an attempt itself be an offense? Can preparation itself be an offense? That is a question that can be asked. What will be the answer if anyone has to
Sir, inchoate
answer?
Yes,
crime. Sir,
attempt.
it comes under inchoate crime.
Inchoate crime. Inchoate, that is
Sir,
conspiracy you're
attempt.
saying.
Attempt.
511.
Attempt
Sir,
itself is an
both
offense. Which is
can be,
which is that? Which is
sir,
that?
both
uh,
can be offenses. 120, 121 offenses against a state, both can be offenses.
True. Suicide, attempt to suicide,
No
is
more,
that an
sir.
offense?
Yes, sir, it is an
Sir,
offense.
it's an offense.
No more.
Attempt to suicide.
Committed suicide has
1 year
occurred.
punishment.
It's not an offense anymore.
No, sir, not an
No,
offense
sir, it is
anymore.
an
It
offense,
is.
right?
It.
Not punishable anymore. Not punishable anymore.
According to
A Supreme Court judgment. I don't clearly remember the case.
Sir, Gyancore versus State of Punjab.
okay, good. So then again,
I didn't
solitary
get the thing.
confinement.
Sir, sir, it attempt to suicide is not an offense.
So, the Supreme Court judgment says that though it has not been expressly made inapplicable by legislature, the Supreme Court judgment says that. Okay, so that way it is said, but then it has not been uh,
So, but John Core
taken.
versus John Core thing is talks about euthanasia.
That is there, that talks about euthanasia as well, but then that concept, it is saying that the concept is that right to life includes right to death.
So,
Okay,
but that has been
so
overridden by different cases, I guess, and it said that right to life doesn't include right to die, but sir, passive euthanasia has been given a stance to it. That, but then there are criterias where passive euthanasia can be legalized. It is legalized, but sir, but there are guidelines one has to follow in order to give that passive euthanasia.
absolutely, according to me, you still can punish because
Yes, sir,
if
you can get
if that
punished.
is the if that wouldn't be the case, I have tried cases for attempt to suicide. So I have tried cases for that. So I don't think law expressly bars us from trying offenses such as attempt to suicide. So even if any apex court judgment is there, I don't think that completely takes away the power of a trial court to try for an offense of attempt to suicide. Okay. Anyway, we are not concerned with the topics today. We'll just tell you the topics. You find out the answer. If there is any doubt, we can discuss them anyway. So then, coming to solitary confinement, whether it is constitutional, the constitutionality of solitary confinement, unsound person, dolly in capax, and then private defense, abatement, conspiracy, unlawful assembly, then hate speech is it punished under IPC? Can it be punished under IPC? That can be a question, that whether hate speech can be punished under IPC, because it was recently in news. So there can be a question like that. Anyone wants to answer whether hate speech can be punished under IPC? If yes, under which section?
So 510.
510. Anyone wants to supplement or agree? Okay, find out. Public nuisance. Public nuisance. Next would be public nuisance. 299, 300, I told you. Then transferred malice doctrine, that you must know. Whether section 303 is unconstitutional. Dowry death, that is 304B. Attempt to murder and its punishment, that. Then hurt and grievous hurt.
Sir, whether
Uh,
section 298 and 297, those areas, will we cover it or not?
Recently, because of the recent implications, yes, there
Yes.
can be questions. Okay, so you must cover them as well. Okay, then kidnapping and adoption. The 2012 Amendment Act, what it has brought uh, into account, the sexual assault, the 354 A, B, C, D, all of those hold significant value for your interview as well. Kidnapping, abduction, then 377. You should be clear about the concept of what is the uh, present legal position now. Theft, when will it amount to robbery? 403, 405, mischief, criminal trespass, forgery, bigamy. Then again, with respect to Mohammedans, so you must know whether there can be a question that whether a Muslim can be prosecuted for bigamy. So what will be the answer? You can do that. Adultery is legal or illegal? Will mental cruelty be punishable? Defamation, both criminal defamation and civil defamation, then criminal intimidation, then 511, and the distinction of 511 from attempt or preparation. So all the tests that, and there is also, do you know the test though that distinguishes from attempt to preparation? Do you know the test? The mens rea test, the la penitentia test. Do you know it, or is it alien? Do you know the test? Anybody knows the la penitentia test,
No, sir.
the mens rea test,
No, sir.
and the and what would be the test? There are three, four tests. So you try to
So some
know
test
those.
of directness or something like that. There are four
Proximity,
tests.
test of
Proximity.
proximity. One test of proximity is also there. Test of mens rea is there. La penitentia test is there. Again, if you do not know,
Sir,
not
what is
read
that
again.
La Peninsula?
La peninsula, not la penitentiae. That means repent test. If the person who is committing the crime or going to commit the crime, if he has the occasion to repent, or if he has, suppose I am, for example, I am going to put RDX in parliament. I go to the parliament with RDX truck, RDX loaded truck, and then I see some young children and I change my mind. So if I change my mind myself, so that means the accused is repenting himself. So in that case, that is not attempt anymore. So attempt would be when you cross that repent stage. So that stage, that test says that
Sir, can
you
you
may
spell that word?
la, la,
Yes.
then penitentiae, PENPENIN, penin, ten, TIE, penitentiae. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So again, don't read if you haven't read ever, because again I'm rebutting that complete idea of reading a fresh topic. That is not advisable at this stage. Then again, inchoate crimes, res nullius, because I was putting a question. I know that res nullius can be a question. There have been questions like that, that whether uh, 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 res nullius can be stolen. Uh, so that can be a question. So it covers IPC. Then specific relief. Specific relief. Let me tell you something about specific relief. What is the significance of specific relief? That then differentiate between section 5 and section 6. Then when can a person who being not the owner is dispossessed of movable property recover? So not in the possession, not in the owner, not in possession. How can he be restored the possession? Then trespasser entitled for injunction against rightful owner. That concept. Then cases of specific performance of contract, when it can be granted. What are the changes in 2018 amendment? Then what is the substituted performance of contract? Rectification, cancellation, and rescission of contract. Then types of injunction. So we must discuss it. We must know it with reference to temporary and permanent. You must know both of them. How many types of injunction? The types of injunction. What do you mean by declaratory decree? John Doe orders. That is one topic you must know. Global injunction, mandatory injunction, anti-suit injunction, quia timate action, quia timate action. That is QUIA timate action. What do you mean by status quo ante? Status quo ante. Again, let me repeat you. Status quo ante, quia tenet action, anti-suit injunction, mandatory injunction, global injunction, John Doe orders, temporary and perpetual injunction, declaratory decree, and then types of injunction, then rectification, cancellation, and rescission, substituted performance of contract, 2018 amendment, then when specific performance of contract can be granted, is a trespasser entitled for injunction against the rightful owner, a person not the owner dispossessed of movable property, whether he can recover possession, difference between 5 and 6, and the concept of specific relief. These are the important topics. Then next would be Hindu law and Muslim law. It is these two topics. I think major topics are left. I think most of the topics are covered. Constitution, again, it becomes very tricky to miss out on one part. Let me tell you that at least be thorough till 51A. That is a must. Then you cover the schedules, you know the schedules, you know Prime Minister, President, all the constitutional bodies that are there, that you must cover, that you must know. You must identify or know your constitutional bodies, how they are appointed, how they are removed, what is their power, all of that you must know. Then you must also know the schedules. Then you must know the center list, that is union list, concurrent list, and the state list. These three things, and those things also you must know. how taxation. So there can be question that taxation comes under the purview of which list. So you must be at least in a position to know it. I know it practically gets impossible sometimes to remember all of it, but then you have to know, because there can be questions like that, and sadly knowledge is a part of your personality, I keep saying. So you can't just say that it's a test of personality, so there won't be any question from that. So sadly, the knowledge is a past test of the personality. Sorry. Yes. So where were we? Yes. Constitution. Constitution, all of that. 51A up till 51A, at least you cover all the constitutional bodies. You must I know your constitutional authorities and the offices, constitutional offices. You must know under which article you are appointed. That means there can be question that under which article a civil judge is appointed. Can anyone answer? Under which article a civil judge is appointed?
235.
Yeah, there can be questions like that. Okay, so you must know all of that. Then I am in a bit of let's just cover Hindu law and Muslim law. Okay, Hindu law. Hindu law, you must know who is a Hindu, whether marriage between a Hindu and a non-Hindu is valid or not. That's a tricky question. Then essentials of a valid marriage, divorce, the grounds and kinds of divorce. Then divorce by mutual consent, when a Hindu male or female can adopt, who can give in or take in adoption, who can be adopted, Section 11 of Hindu Adoption Act, co-partitionary property, joint family property, the recent amendment which makes sure that all the female persons are also uh, born co-partners. That concept also you must know. Then class 1 air, class 2 air concept, that you must know. Per capita, per stripe, that concept you must know. Agnate, cognate, sapinda, full blood, and then half blood. All of that you must know. Then, as I told you, changes brought by 2005 amendment. Rights of an illegitimate child, that you must know. Hindu co-partner, whether he can dispose all of his property by way of will, that you must know. Natural guardian, testamentary guardian, uh, in special reference to Gita Hariharan case, that you must know. Concept of pious obligation, that you must know. Judicial separation, that you must know. Escheat, that must know. Rights and duties of a Hindu karta, difference between 125 CRPC and Section 25 of Hindu Marriage Act, that you must know. Then difference between Hindu Marriage Act Section 25 and Section 18 of uh, Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act, that you must know. Then maintenance pendental right, de facto guardian, restitution of conjugal right, all of that you must know. Then the Muslim law, for Muslim law, you must know Batil, Fasid, Sahi, and Mutta marriage, triple talaq, special reference to Saira Banu case, Hibba, Waqf, Mutawali, Dawar, Iddat, Marzul Maut, then triple talaq, you must know this, whether talaq Hasan, talaq Hasan, what form of triple talaq is valid, or any form of is valid or not, for that matter, you must know that. Then there can be a question from Wasiyat, Kitabia, case, Sahabanu case, that is a must. Then in Uniform Civil Code, what is your view on that? That can be a short question. Okay, repeating that: Batil, Fasid, Sahi, Mutta marriage, triple talaq, Kitabia, Wasiyat, Marzul Maut, Iddat, Dawar, Mutabli, Waqaf, Hibba, Sabanu, Daniel Latifi case, and then Uniform Civil Code. This is your entire Hindu law and Muslim law. Anyone? I mean, I hope you were able to note all of it, or did you miss out on anything? I was a bit quick, but I hope you were able to jot all the points down, so that it will be helping you.
So only if you could put the points for Muslim law in the group or whenever it's convenient.
What is it?
Points for important topics for Muslim law. If you can put it in the group or I mean in terms of note.
Okay, okay, I'll do that. I'll do that.
Thank
I'll try to jot them down on a piece of paper and post them in the group.
you. Yes, thanks.
Sir, Indian
Sir,
Contract
the
Act.
recording. So the recording, if you can give it.
Yes, the recording. That would be the best way. In fact, the recording, if you can have an access to them, you can watch them perhaps one more time, and then that would be easier for you.
Sir,
Yes, sir,
Indian
thank you.
Contract Act.
What is it?
Indian Contract Act.
Contract Act, I was not able to prepare, but let me tell you right now, let me tell you from that. Contract Act, let me open Contract Act.
And
Is
tort,
that
sir.
the taught important concepts? How will I give? You have must know. I don't think torts is that important for interview. I mean, having said that, there can be questions from that. So most of the times, judges would be focused on all of these topics, the core subject. But then, yes, if your luck is not nice, then probably there can be questions from that. Contract Act. Let's discuss the Contract Act. Uh, the Contract Act. I hope I don't have the act with me, so that's the reason it's troublesome. Let me.
So did you talk about the procedural law, before I joined?
Yes, did talk about all of the subject except I think Contract Act, including
Okay.
the minor acts also we talked about. So in case you missed out, I would suggest you ask some of anyone has noted them down. Please send it in the group so that it will be helpful for all of us who are there in the group. Okay. Okay. Section. You must know the basics of contract, that the definitions of the definition, that is the interpretation clause, and that you must know. Then uh, communication, acceptance, the concept of how uh, acceptance is like a matchstick to the hip of gunpowder. That then competent to contract, then consent, free consent, then the coercion, undue influence, fraud, all of that. Then when it is not a free consent, that is you must know. Then agreement in restraint of marriage, restraint of trade, uh, all of that. Then wagering contracts, contingent contracts, that concept. Then mm, novation, rescission, alteration of contract, all of that concept. Then finder of goods, then consequences of breach of contract, then sales of goods. If you sales of goods, but sales of goods act is there, so not necessarily it is needed. Then uh, it is of indemnity guarantee, that concept you must know. Bailment concept you must know. Agency concept you must know. Then again, Indian Partnership Act is there, so this has been repealed. Yes. So this is bailment you must know, agency appointment that you must know, indemnity guarantee know, then you must. Mm, basically, what chapters are important? Chapter 1 is important. Chapter 2 is important. Then chapter 3.
Chapter 1, 2, and 3.
Yes, chapter 1, 2, 3. Then 8, 8, 9. 9, just know the concept. No, don't have to like know everything. Just know what is bill and everything. Then chapter 10 also, no agency and all of that, the concept of that. And then no, that would be it. That would be the important topics. And you have one to cover, then you can, if you had an optional, you must cover it specifically, you must cover all of it. But if you did not have the contract, but then I'll tell you that you cover only this, so that at least you are not put in an odd situation that you do not know anything about contract. You shouldn't be facing that embarrassment. Rather, other than that, if you are not able to answer like very core question, that would be fine. If you haven't taken that optional, you can plead ignorance. I'm suggesting that if you did not take the optional, if you haven't read altogether, refrain, it is fine. Just read it like Subhalakshmi was saying, can I do a quick recap and go to the exam? Yes, if you can, if you want to go do a quick recap and go to the interview, then you can do that, just to boost your confidence that yes, I haven't left any subject. I know all of the subjects. If not all, at least I know I am a jack of all trade. For that matter, you can do that. Thoughts, important topic. If I have to give you for the purpose of interview, because it becomes again, as we were discussing, chapter 4 also is important of the contract, but then interview oriented questions cannot be put. You're getting it. So important topics are there. There can be important topics for mains. There can be important topics for prelims. But for interview purpose, what questions can be asked? Because most of the times the answer should be in one liner or two liner or three liner. They won't be. They can't be asking you questions which should be one page answer, right? So that way, these topics become important. Okay. So taught, if you want to know, then uh, know the defenses against the tort, you know, then you know the liability in the law of torts, that is absolute liability, vicarious liability, all of that you must know. Remedies for torts, that you must know. Malicious prosecution, trespass and defamation, negligence, all of this concept you must know. And there can be questions from that area as well. uh, so this voluntary non-fiti injuria concept, act of god concept, this major. There was a question in an interview that what do you think about this? Oh my God, I know one of my friend was asked about this question. Uh, this oh my God principle, oh my God case principle, whether act of God that can be a ground of defense in a tort. And then necessity, private defense, um, uh, the novus actus intervenis, that concept, statutory authority concept. Uh, then parties to tort, you can know strict liability, absolute liability, that is must. Bhopal gas tragedy, vicarious liability, tortious liability, that you must know. Nuisance a little. Then negligence, res ipsa loquitur, that is accident speaks of itself. Medical negligence, that you must know because there can be questions. Medical negligence, the Bolam test for that matter. There's a test of Bolam in an English case called Bolam versus something. I don't remember. Bolam case. The test was um, there, which determines medical negligence. You must know. Then uh, slander, libel, that. Then assault, battery, mayhem, false imprisonment, trespass. Then the remedies that are there, that is damages, injunction, specific performance, and the extrajudicial remedies. I think this in a nutshell covers your tort. Are we left with anything else? I think we have covered most of the things.
Sir,
Sales of
any
goods,
other
partnership,
act? Sir, any other act apart from this, like NDPS or
PWDV Act, PWDV Act, because recently it has been introduced. Okay, so there can be questions from that.
is the
So
Domestic Violence Act because it was in the prelims?
yes, that's what I'm saying. The PWDV Act, because it has been recently introduced in prelims, so that's why there can be questions from that. Also, anyone who is there with us who are non-Nodias, That means not from Odia origin. If anyone is there, then you must also you have an additional task. Is anyone there? If not, then we are not going to discuss it at all. No, so no one is there who is non-Odia, so that is fine. If you're non-Odia, you would have had an additional task. Then again, but having said that, having some ideas about, do you know the concept of all this consolidation and everything? Do you know anyone has any idea about consolidation? What is consolidation? What is land holding? Sabak, Hal, Khata, all of this. Do you know? If
Yes, sir.
if you have some idea, at least form a basic idea about that, that would help you, because I know judges who are like very keen to civil field. They can be swayed to put questions from that. So why risk? You just know the concept because it is very easy. Hal sabak, you ask your father, anyone's father, you them, they know it. They will tell you. Okay,
So the
you
topics?
the I'm saying the Hal sabak, that is the ROR record, ROR thing, the concept of ROR, Hal sabak
Right,
settlement,
whatever. Okay,
settlement,
sir.
settlement, and then the consolidation, all of these concepts, the Chokabandi concept, that thing, you must know all of that.
Sir,
Also,
Choco?
Chokabandi, consolidation को Chokabandi कहନ୍ତି. So they'll ask you
Okay, sir.
Chokabandi, they can questions की Chokabandi concept विषୟରେ कुहंती. So you can't say what is Chokabandi and then you have to answer it. Okay,
Okay, sir.
and
Sir, any
then
more that sort of? ମାନେ ସାର୍ ଓଡ଼ିଆରେ ଆପଣ ସେ ଟର୍ମସ୍ ଗୁଡ଼ା
there
କହିଦିଅନ୍ତୁ so
there
that
can be questions. ସେଥିପାଇଁ ତ କହୁଛି ଓଡ଼ିଆରେ ଯଦି ପଚାରିଦେବେ and ଆପଣ ନ କହିପାରିଲେ ଟିକେ odd ହେଇଯାଏ, because you are in fact going to record depositions of people who will give it in Odia, right? So you have to know it. ସେମାନେ consolidation କହିବେନି, ସେମାନେ ଚକବନ୍ଦୀ କହିବେ, ଆମେ ତାକୁ ବୁଝିକି consolidation କରିବାର ଅଛି. So
okay.
yeah. Then ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ
Sir,
surface
अच्छा.
act ବିଷୟରେ ଟିକେ ଜାଣିଥିବେ, surface act ବିଷୟରେ ଟିକେ at least idea ରଖିଥାନ୍ତୁ surface act ଉପରେ.
Sir, what is it about?
କୋଉଟା କହିଲେ?
Surface Act, sir, ମୁଁ first time ଶୁଣିଲି ତ sir, what is it about? I don't know.
Then don't know. Then don't go into it. But surface act ଏତିକି ଖାଲି ଜାଣିଥାନ୍ତୁ, ଯଦି କିଏ ପଚାରିଦେଲେ ବି surface act, at least tell them that ଗୋଟେ debt recovery proceeding ଅଛି. Debt recovery proceeding
bank securitization process to
yes, yes, yes. Banks
okay.
securitization and restructuration ପାଇଁ
This is
ଗୋଟେ
process. Okay.
act ହେଇଛି, ସେଇଟା ହଉଛି surface act. So surface act expressly bars the jurisdiction of civil court. So ସେଠି debt recovery tribunal ପାଖକୁ ଯିବେ or debt recovery appellate tribunal ପାଖକୁ ଯିବେ if you have any issues. So surface act ପାଇଁ ଟିକେ ଆପଣ ଜାଣିଥାଇ ପାରନ୍ତି, କିଏ କାଳେ ପଚାରିଦେଲା ବୋଲି। ଏଇ ଜିନିଷଟା ଆପଣ ଯେତିକି ଜାଣିଥାନ୍ତୁ ଯେ surface act ଟା ଗୋଟେ act ଅଛି ଯୋଉଥିରେ କି ଯେତେବେଳେ କିଛି bad debt ହେଇଯାଏ banks ର, ତ ସେତେବେଳେ କଣ ହୁଏ, ତାକୁ ରିଷ୍ଟ୍ରକ୍ଚରାଇଜେସନ କରିବା ପାଇଁ, ରିକଭରି କରିବା ପାଇଁ ଗୋଟେ ସେପାରେଟ ଫୋରମ ଅଛି ଯୋଉଠିକି ଆପଣ କରିପାରିବେ। ସୋ ସେଠି ଆପଣ ସିଭିଲ କୋର୍ଟକୁ ଆସିକି ନ କରିକି, ଯୋଉ ବ୍ୟାଙ୍କ ଅକ୍ସନ କରେନି, ବ୍ୟାଙ୍କ ଅକ୍ସନ କରୁଥିବ ଘରକୁ ଆଉ ଏସବୁକୁ ଯୋଉ ଜାଣିଥିବେ, ନୋଟିସ ଦେଇକି ସବୁ ଘରକୁ ଅକ୍ସନ କରାଯାଏ ଅର କଣ କରାଯାଏ, ତ ସେଇଠି ସେ ସବୁରେ ସରଫେସି ଆକ୍ଟ ର ୟୁଜ ଆସେ। ସୋ ଦ୍ୟାଟ again, any act which is right now in news, can anyone tell me what act is in news right now?
Sir, motor vehicle, sir,
MPP, medical
Motor
termination of
vehicle act is
pregnancy.
in news. Motor vehicle act is in news. That is
and
one there.
medical terminancy of pregnancy, that act is also.
MRTP act, that is also true. You must know
And
that as well.
along with Article 14.
Yes, MRTP act. Then again, ଆଉ କିଛି ତ act ଆପଣ ଭାବୁଛନ୍ତି
The
କି
PMLA
ଛୋଟ
Act
ଛୋଟ?
is also in news. PMLA.
Yes, PMLA act is also is in news. So that you must know. PMLA act ତ ବହୁତ ବେଶୀ news ରେ ଏବେ, ତେଣୁ ସେଟା ବି ଆପଣ ଟିକେ ଭଲ କି ପ୍ରେଫରେନ୍ସ ଦେଇକି ଟିକେ ଖାଲି ଜାଣିଥାନ୍ତୁ। I'm not saying କି ପୁରା ଆପଣ
Sir, co-act?
prevention of money laundering
Sir,
act.
sir. Okay.
Okay, that ମାନେ ମୁଁ କହୁନି କି ଯେ ଏବେ ଯୋଉ ଆମେ ଆକ୍ଟ ଗୁଡା କହୁଛି ଆପଣ ପଢିବେନି ବସିକି, ଯେ ସେକ୍ସନ 1 ଏହା କହିଲା, ସେକ୍ସନ 2 ଏହା କହିଲା, ସର ତ କହିଛନ୍ତି ଏ ବସିକି ନୂଆଟେ ପଢିବି, କିଛି ପଏଣ୍ଟ ନାହିଁ। Yeah, I'm just saying ki what it talks about, what is the recent change, ଏବେ ଗୋଟେ କଣ ଆସିଲା, this much you know, ମାନେ that means you have an idea about that act. That is all that I need from you. କାଲି ସକାଳେ
So what
ପଚାରିଦେବେ
about
ଆଉ।
Representation of People's Act?
Representation of People Act is also is in news. Okay,
Because
but
last
that is
time some of the candidates were asked this question about
yes,
Lalu
yes,
Prasad
yes.
Yadav. How was he rejected from his candidature?
Absolutely, absolutely. Also, as I told you, there can be questions from public policies. Public policies, that means the policies of the government. And you will say that these are political questions. No, these are not political questions. These are questions which concern with law. These are questions which are concerned with courts. So again, there is this thing that what do you think about? There can be questions from recent news which has uh, resulted in a debate or a case for that matter. Ranveer Singh ର ଆପଣ example ନିଅନ୍ତୁ ତା ଉପରେ ଗୋଟେ test ଥିଲା ଯେ ଏ ଯୋଉ there is a specific test regarding to that I'm forgetting. I'll send it in the group that indecent ଟା କୋଉଟା ଜାଣିବା ପାଇଁ there is a test କି this is indecent. The test ର ନାଁଟା ମନେ ପଡୁନି, the concept ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ କହିଦଉଛି concept ଟା କଣ କହିଥିଲା ସେ test ରେ। concept ହଉଛି କି ଯେ at least it should ମାନେ larger part of the society if it finds it indecent then that is indecent ବୋଲି ସେ କହିଥିଲା। so in that case ଯଦି ଆପଣ ଗୋଟେ ଟେଷ୍ଟ ରେ ସେୟା କହିଥିଲା, ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ଟେଷ୍ଟ ରେ କହିଲା ଯେ ଲାର୍ଜର ପାର୍ଟ କୁ ଯିବାନି, will only consider the most volatile part or most likely to be affected the society, that means the children. If that is indecent for them, then that is indecent. So but that test is again controversial. So ଏମିତି ଆପଣ ଟିକେ ଟିକେ ideas ରଖିଥାନ୍ତୁ, and how will you get that idea? By reading news, by watching a good not Republic news for that certainly. Definitely ଯଦି ଆପଣ କିଛି ଭଲ ନ୍ୟୁଜ ଚ୍ୟାନେଲ ଦେଖୁଥିବେ କେବେ ଯୋଉ କଣ ସେ ଯୋଉ କଣ ପ୍ରାଇମ ଟାଇମ କିଛି ଏନଡିଟିଭି ର ଦେଖୁଥିବେ କି ହିନ୍ଦୁ ବିନ୍ଦୁ ପଢୁଥିବେ, ଦେନ୍ ଆପଣ ଆଟଲିଷ୍ଟ ଆଇ ହୋପ କି କିଛି ଗୋଟେ ଏମିତି ନ୍ୟୁଜ ଉପରେ କିଛି ପଶି ଯାଉଛି କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚନ ଆଉ ଆପଣ ଆନ୍ସର ଦେଇପାରିବେନି, that shouldn't happen. Yes, Hickling test. I was forgetting the name. Durga Prasad, thank you for reminding. Hickling test. Hickling test is the test. Note it down and read it about Hickling test. Okay. ସେ ଯୋଉ ରଣବୀର ସିଂ ର କେସ୍ ଉପରେ ଆସିଲା। there can be questions କି ବିହାରର ଲିକର ବ୍ୟାନ୍ ଉପରେ ଆପଣଙ୍କର ମାନେ ଲିକର ବ୍ୟାନ୍ ଉପରେ ଭ୍ୟୁ କଣ ଆପଣ? ତ ଲିକର ବ୍ୟାନ୍ ଟା whether it is good or not, because fundamental duty ର fundamental duty କହୁଛି ଯେ sorry DPSP କହୁଛି ଯେ fundamental duty ନୁହଁ, DPSP କହୁଛି ଯେ ଲିକର ବ୍ୟାନ୍ କରିବା ଦରକାର, but then with reference to the excise policy, how is it suitable? So there can be questions which ask views of yourself about any public issue. Be prepared and ସମସ୍ତେ ନ୍ୟୁଜ ପଢୁଛନ୍ତି, I'm hoping କି 1 hour at least ଦଉଛନ୍ତି ଯାହାର। ଆଚ୍ଛା ଲେଟ୍ ମି ଟେଲ୍ ୟୁ କି କାହାର କାହାର କୋଉ ଦିନ ଅଛି ମତେ ଟିକେ ପଚାରି ଦିଅନ୍ତୁ, ମତେ ଟିକେ କହିଦିଅନ୍ତୁ କାହାର କାହାର କୋଉ ଦିନ ଇଣ୍ଟରଭ୍ୟୁ ଅଛି। ଆଚ୍ଛା ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ କଥା ତା ଆଗରୁ, ଆମର 9:30 ରେ we have the first mock and I am so sorry that I couldn't take the slots and accordingly schedule it for the matter that एत्ते जल्दी हमारो interview ହେଇଗଲା 7 तारीख। so you know how stressful for you it is, for us it is to arrange all of that. so please make it happen। ଦି ଦିନ ଖାଲି କାଲି ଆଉ ପରଦିନ ଆଉ 5 ତାରିଖ 3 ଦିନ ଆପଣ କାଲି ଆଉ ପରଦିନ ଆପଣ 9:30 12:30 you spare me the time। ଆପଣ 15 minutes ଆପଣ slot ମୁଁ ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ଆଗରୁ ଦେଇଦେବି, ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ପୁରା ଡେ ବି ୱେଷ୍ଟ କରିବା ଦରକାର ନାହିଁ। ଆପଣ ସେଇ 15-20 minutes ର slot ଟାକୁ ନେଇକି ଆପଣ ସେତେବେଳେ ହିଁ ଖାଲି available ହେଇଯାଆନ୍ତୁ। ଓକେ, ଆଇ ୱିଲ୍ ପ୍ରିପେୟାର ଦି ସ୍ଲଟ୍ ରାଇଟ୍ ନାଉ and କି କାହାର କେତେବେଳେ ଅଛି 9:30 ରୁ ଇଏରେ ଟେଲିକମ୍ ବିଲ୍ amendment act that you can read as well। ତ
सर जीके ଆଉ କରେଣ୍ଟ ଆଫେୟାର ଦରକାର କି?
ଜିକେ କରେଣ୍ଟ ଆଫେୟାର ବି ଦରକାର, ସେଥିପାଇଁ ତ କହୁଛି ନା ନ୍ୟୁଜ ପଢିବେ, ନ୍ୟୁଜ ଟା ପଢିଲେ ହିଁ ଆପଣ ଜିକେ କରେଣ୍ଟ ଆଫେୟାର ଜାଣିବେ। ତ କାହିଁକି ନା ଆପଣ ଯଦି ଭାବନ୍ତୁ ଗୋଟେ judicial officer who does not know what is happening around the world, he'll be probably in a cocoon and say he'll be taking decisions which will not be in fact effective। so law to at least theory କରିପାରିବନି according to me। so that for that reason you must know GK current affair, what is happening around you, state specific news କିଛି, center specific news କିଛି, world specific news କିଛି, ସବୁ ଟିକେ ଜାଣିବାକୁ ପଡିବ ଆଟଲିଷ୍ଟ। ମୁଁ ବହୁତ ଇମ୍ପୋର୍ଟାଣ୍ଟ ଯୋଉଟା ସେଟା ଯଦି ଆପଣ ମିସ୍ କରି ଯାଇଛନ୍ତି ତାହେଲେ ତ ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ ହିଁ ଫସିବେ। ଆପଣ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ବ୍ରେକ୍ସିଟ୍ ହେଇଥିଲା ସେତେବେଳେ ବ୍ରେକ୍ସିଟ୍ ଉପରେ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚନ ଆସିଥିଲା ଏବେ ୟୁକ୍ରେନ ରଷିଆ war ଅଛି ତା ଉପରେ ଆସିପାରେ, ଇରାନ ପ୍ୟାଲେଷ୍ଟାଇନ ଇସ୍ୟୁ ଅଛି ତା ଉପରେ କିଛି ଆସିପାରେ। ତ ଟିକେ ଟିକେ ଆପଣ ଜାଣିଥିବେ ସାଉଥ ଚାଇନା ସି ଉପରେ ଯାହା ଡିସ୍ପ୍ୟୁଟ ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ କ୍ୟାନ୍ କମ୍। ଓକେ, ଶ୍ରୀଲଙ୍କାର ଯୋଉ troubled waters in Sri Lanka, that can be an issue whether India should learn। ଆପଣ କହିବେନି ଯେ ଏଇଟା ତ ୟୁପିଏସସି ର କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚନ ହେଇଗଲା। नो इट इज नॉट। ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ପୁରା ଏକ୍ସପର୍ଟ ହେଇକି ଆପଣଙ୍କ ଏଠି ଫରେନ୍ ପଲିସି ଉପରେ ଆପଣଙ୍କ ଭ୍ୟୁଜ ମାଗୁନାହାନ୍ତି। ଦେ ଆର୍ ଜଷ୍ଟ ଆସ୍କିଂ ଆଜ ଏ layman what is your view। You should at least have that view as a layman। As a layman what is your view on these legal issues? ସେତିକି ଆପଣ କହିଦିଅନ୍ତୁ, that should be fine। Okay, nobody is going to ask you questions from cricket कि सचिन तेंदुलकर केतेटा, विराट कोहली रो केते नंबर सेंचुरी एटा हैला, nobody is going to ask you। 73rd की 74 की 71st के nobody to ask you unless you quote it as hobby। जदि आपण हॉबी लिखिदेले क्रिकेट ताले क्वेश्चन पचारै परियो। हां, हॉबी टाकू बहुत केयरफुली आपण, आई होप यू आर पुटिंग इट बिकॉज़ देन एंड बहुत जण मते पठै नांती एपर्यंत भी बायोडाटा। व्हाट इज द इश्यू आई एम नॉट गेटिंग। गोटे एटा रफ बोली भाबंत, आपण भाबंत कि फाइनल जहां हम जदि चेंज करिया कथा, विल हैव अ डिस्कशन। दैट इज द रीजन आई एम हियर। वी कैन, if there is an issue कि आपण you are which you are facing while filling up the biodata, fill it up and give it to me। काली अछि आपनकर मॉक and you are not giving me the biodata। काली भितरे
सर
आजि
सर ସେମାନେ ଲେଖିଛନ୍ତି କି subjects of +2 and above 3 main subjects only। सर ସେଟା ଆମେ କେମିତି କଣ ମାନେ सर सीबीएसई ରେ ତ ସେମିତି କିଛି मेन सब्जेक्ट्स ନଥିଲା।
ଆପଣଙ୍କ ହିସାବରେ ଲେଖିଦେବେ ଯୋଉଟା ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ମେଇନ୍ ଲାଗୁଛି ଆଉ ଲେଖିଦେବେ ଆଉ କଣ। ମ୍ୟାଥ ସାଇନ୍ସ ଏମିତି ଲେଖିଦିଅନ୍ତୁ କଣ ହେଇଯାଉଛି। ମ୍ୟାଥ
ଆଜ୍ଞା
ସାଇନ୍ସ
सर।
ସୋସିଆଲ ସାଇନ୍ସ ଲେଖିଦିଅନ୍ତୁ କଣ ହେଇଯାଉଛି। ସେ ତିନିଟା ମେନ୍ ସବଜେକ୍ଟ ମୋ ହିସାବରେ ତେଣୁ ସେ ତିନିଟା ଲେଖିଦିଅନ୍ତୁ।
ओके सर।
ଆଉ ଜଣେ କିଏ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚନ କରିଥିଲେ +3 ଲେଖା ହେଇଛି, ମୁଁ LLB କୋଉଠି ଲେଖିବି? ସେଇଠି ଲେଖିଦିଅନ୍ତୁ LLB କିଛି ନାହିଁ। ଓକେ,
ମୋର ତ
ବଟ୍
+3 ନୁହେଁ, ମୋର 5 years LLB।
ଯାହାର 5 years ନା, ବହୁତ ଜଣଙ୍କର +3 ଦେଇଛି ସେଠି, +3 ପାଇଁ କଲମ ଦେଇଛି ନା। କଲମ ତ ଦେଇନି 5
ଆଜ୍ଞା।
year LLB ପାଇଁ, ଦେଇଛି କି 5 year LLB ପାଇଁ?
ନା ନା सर।
ତ ସେଇଆ କହୁଥିଲି। ତ ଏନିୱେ ମତେ ବାୟୋଡାଟା ଆଜି ଆଉ 1 hour ଭିତରେ ଦରକାର। ସେଣ୍ଡ ଇଟ୍ ଟୁ ମି, ରେଟ୍ ଅଫ ଇଣ୍ଟରଭ୍ୟୁ ସହିତ ମତେ ପଠାନ୍ତୁ ସମସ୍ତେ। मेक इट अ पॉइंट 1 hour ଭିତରେ ମତେ पर्सनली କରନ୍ତୁ, ଗ୍ରୁପ ରେ ପଠାନ୍ତୁନି ବିକଜ ଆଇ ଡୋंଟ ୱାଣ୍ଟ କି କାହାର ବାୟୋଡାଟା କେହି ଦେଖନ୍ତୁ, ବିକଜ ଇଟ୍ସ ନଟ୍ नीडेड also। सो बायोडाटा करନ୍ତୁ, मॉक इंटरव्यूज टा କରିବା, मॉक इंटरव्यू गुडाक रेकर्ड हबो एंड आपनକୁ देखा हबो जे आपण देखिबे जोउठी भूल करछन्ते आपनକୁ शिखा हबो। दैट इज द होल पॉइंट ऑफ दिस मॉक्स। मॉक्स देई देले भी किछि खाली पॉइंट हबनी अनलेस वी लर्न फ्रॉम द मॉक्स। सो मॉक्स विल बी recorded and it will be shown to you that these are things you should improve on के ये जगह रे आपण भूल करछन। ओके, वर्चुअली कला बेलकू तो आमे एते बॉडी लैंग्वेज करि परिबनी, बट स्टिल यू ट्राई टू फिक्स द कैमरा इन ए पोजीशन वेयर हम खाली एमती मुहटा न देखा जाऊ, एम जेमती एटलीस्ट पूराटा देखा जाऊ, एटलीस्ट यू मेक श्योर कि दैट हैपेंस। ओके, डन। Is there any other question or we'll end up the session here? 1 hour heilani already।
Sir, my interview is on November 6th।
Yeah, you message that you have a lot of time, message that on WhatsApp so that
Okay,
accordingly
sir।
ମୁଁ ଏଟା କହୁଛି ଦିଟା ଇଣ୍ଟରଭ୍ୟୁ ଆମର ହବ ଏଇ କାଲି ପରଦିନ। ଗୋଟେ ପ୍ୟାନେଲ ହବ 5th ରେ, ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ଇଣ୍ଟରଭ୍ୟୁ ହବ ଯୋଉ ଦିନ ଆପଣଙ୍କ ଇଣ୍ଟରଭ୍ୟୁ ତା ପୂର୍ବ ଦିନ, ମାନେ November 6th ରେ ଅଛି ଆପଣଙ୍କର ଅନନ୍ୟାର November 6th ରେ ନା।
Yes, sir।
हाँ, so ଆପଣଙ୍କ November 5th ରେ that interview will be taken by none other than Rajat sir।
Yes, sir।
ओके, लास्ट इंटरव्यू तो लास्ट इंटरव्यू रे आई विल बी लाइक माने फाइनल टच देबी जे एई जगहटा आपनकर माने दैट विल बी रिहर्सल इनफैक्ट कि एई पूरा सेटा जहा हबो आपन धरिबे जे आपनको इंटरव्यू सेई टाइप रो ही हबो। ता आगुरु आपन एई तीनटा को मेक श्योर इफ फिफ्थ भितरे तीनटा को मॉक सारंतु। आउ गोटे सेशन आई एम प्लानिंग अराउंड व्हाट दैट आई विल टेल यू, but then let's see if needed we'll take one more session। recordings ଏଇଟା ତ ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ଦେଇଦେବି so that ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ଟିକେ ଇଜି ହେଇଯିବ ସେଇ ଟପିକ୍ସ ଗୁଡାକୁ ନୋଟ ଡାଉନ କରିବା ପାଇଁ। ଆଉ କଣ ରହିଲା, ଆଉ କିଛି ଅଛି or will wrap up? କିଏ ଗୋଟେ କିଛି କହୁଥିଲା ବୋଧେ, ସିମରନ୍ was saying something।
No, sir.
Are you? I mean, do you understand Odia? Because we were discussing in Odia as well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I
Okay.
understand. Yeah, yeah. And I'm
Okay.
practicing. I mean, speaking is a bit problem, not much of a problem. It's a bit
Okay.
problem, but yeah, I'm practicing it daily. I'm talking to my
Okay.
parents in a way.
Okay. Also, one more thing, because I had in the previous class, don't use namaskar. Never use good morning. That's a must. Okay, that's a non-negotiable thing. If you use good
Sir,
evening,
noted.
your interview is gone.
Okay, sir.
Not you only, Simran. I'm telling it to everyone. Okay, not good morning here. You make sure you say namaskar and good namaskar to the board. That will be the ideal way. Namaskar, your lordship, ଜଣକୁ ଆଉ namaskar sir ବି ସେଟା ବି କହିବାର ନାହିଁ. Namaskar to the honorable board. That will be fine. ଗୋଟେ ଥର କରିବେ and you stand, wait until they ask you to sit. Okay.
Sir, I'm
ঠিক আছে.
little confused about the intro part. Can you please tell me like how to
Intro,
do it?
intro,
What we can
intro,
include, what not?
intro. Bob, see, there is specific instruction. I saw that there is specific instruction now that you can't say your name. If that is said, you while verifying the documents, no, do one thing. While doing the document verification, whoever will be the person in charge, you ask them whether we can do that or not. Okay. So if he says that don't include your name, don't include your name and say whatever all the things that I have done my law from this and or I have completed my schooling from this and then school is not needed, but you can say and after that I did my 5 year law from this and after that I did my masters. Presently, I'm preparing for judiciary and this is my first attempt or second attempt. I think that should be your uh, the ideal introduction unless they specifically ask about your family. You shouldn't. Yes, you can quote your achievements that I have a hobby you can include. Yes, this is my hobby that I love to help people or I love conducting blood camps for that matter. You can do all of that. Okay, I think this introduction has been taken a lot of times. Tanuja again has another question. What is the question, Tanuja?
Sir, are all the members having carrying equal mark?
Yes,
So
yes.
some people said that the OPC chairman and the member are not carrying any marks.
Not carrying any marks.
Yeah.
No, no. In fact, it is the other way around. The OPSC chairman, in fact, asks the what will be the marks that should be awarded because at the end the OPSC chairman will award.
Oh, okay, sir.
Okay, so don't think that only the High Court judge carries marks and everyone else doesn't. No, I know that I have talked to High Court judges who have taken the interviews and they have told me that the OPSC chairman asks how much mark we should give and then we say and then we propose and accordingly he gives. So that
Okay.
is there. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Chalo, we'll wrap up the session here. And tomorrow, 9:30 to 12:30, I'm allotting slots. And those 15-20 minutes, you be free. Whatever the case may be, je jaha job karta ho, kaun karta ho. I know, but this is important, okay? So, kali pahordino, you spare it. 9:30 to 12:30. 5